Hello friends, welcome to Insightsias initiative. In today's video, we are going to discuss about prelims high yielding series. I think all of you know that. In previous videos, we discussed about different topics. In today's video, we are going to cover a topic that is related to bills and acts. Bills and acts. Actually, this video is supposed to be telecasted on 2nd of June, but unexpected rains and power breakouts. Because of that, I am unable to upload. So that means you are going to see this video today, 3rd of June. Okay. Of course, our regular video will be at 9 p.m. That will be there, today's video. So it is going to be 2 videos on today. So by the way, in this particular video, we are going to discuss about following 6. Actually, these are in news, especially in 2024. These are the bills. Some are the bills, some are rules, some are already passed in the parliament. Now we will try to look these bills and some of the important features so that it can help in your examination point of view. The first one regarding the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act 2010. You all know that FCRA, what FCRA mainly do? FCRA regulate foreign funding to NGOs. That's the main objective. Any NGO would like to get foreign funding, they have to apply to apply to government through according to FCRA regulation, and they have to renew their license as well. And of course, FCRA Act amended multiple number of times, so that rules regarding the foreign funding, those they become very stringent, very strict. Okay. Nowadays, the money we receive from, NGO receive from abroad, how much percentage of the money should be spent on administrative expenses, and how much money can spend on non-administrative expenses. That kind of clarity also, that kind of details also given in the FCRA. Now let's see further details regarding the FCRA, the context. Actually, this FCRA regulated by the Ministry of Home Affairs, this funding and NGO and all these things. Ministry of Home Affairs, they cancelled the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act license to the popular think tank Center for Policy Research. For them, this regulation, this license cancelled out because the government is saying that they violated the FCRA norms. Objective, FCRA regulate foreign donations. In fact, like any person of Indian origin, PIO, any overseas Indians, if they give money to NGOs based in India, that money also comes counted as a foreign funding only. That you have to understand. Very important in examination point of view. This is implemented by Union Home Affairs, and FCRA Act first initially enacted in 1976, but later periodically it started updated. Okay, it got amended. The relationship between the NGO and FCRA. Any NGO which wish to foreign funding, they have to take funding only according to the FCRA norms. So how many years the validity of this license? 5 years. In between 2016 and 2020, according to Union Home Ministry report, around 6,600 NGOs, their license were cancelled on the grounds of violation of FCRA. Key provisions in 2020 amendments. Examination point of view, very important. Number 1, public servants, they are prohibited from receiving foreign donations. And the second one, foreign donations cannot be transferred to any other person other than the intended beneficiary. For example, an NGO which received the funds, it should not transfer the money to other NGO. That is the second one. And whoever would like to receive these foreign funds, they have to submit all their proof of identity, and they have to open their accounts in State Bank of India New Delhi branch. These are some of the amendments they included. And every person, before their renewal period is finished, before 6 months, they have to apply for the FCRA renewal. And whatever the foreign donations they are receiving, out of that entire money, only up to 20% they can use that for the administrative expenses. Previously, it used to be the 50%. Because 50% means, this administrative expenses means they will show for various reasons. So there is very highly likely that the money can be unaccountable. To reduce that kind of chances, this administrative expenses reduced from 50% to 20%. And if government suspends FCRA license, previously it used to be applied for 180 days. Now it increased it to 360 days. 2021 guidelines, any donations given by overseas citizen of India, person of Indian origin, they will be treated as well as foreign contributions. So why this kind of surveillance is required? Because according to the data from Intelligence Bureau and according to from data from income tax, some reports are saying that some NGOs intentionally they are stopping some progressive work in India. So because of that, We have to have a surveillance and we have to regulate the NGOs activities and their funding. Second one, Citizenship Amendment Rules 2024. Actually, I made a dedicated separate video also on the Citizenship Amendment Act. In case if you missed out that video, you can find in the cards. I am including here, you can find from here. So we are discussing this because recently Government of India issued citizenship to around 14 individuals according to the Citizenship Amendment Act. You know that Citizenship Amendment Act applicable only to 3 countries such as Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, and that too from these 3 countries people who belong to religion, okay, except Islamic religion, people who belong to Hinduism and Sikh religion, Christianity, Buddhist, Jains, Parsis. For them, this Citizenship Amendment Act is applicable. Of course, there is one cutoff date, that is 31st of December 2014, and before the cutoff date, the individual must stay in India for 5 years, then only they will be eligible for the citizenship. So tell me guys, which article of the Indian Constitution is prohibiting the dual citizenship? Which article of the Indian Constitution is prohibiting the dual citizenship? Comment your answer. So recently government handed over citizenship to 14 applicants according to the Citizenship Amendment Act. This is administered by Union Home Ministry. Citizenship Amendment Act was enacted in 2019. It provides citizenship to people belong to these religious groups, okay, except Islamic one, because this amendment is all based on the people, religious minorities who experienced the religious persecution in countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh. Article 11 is empowering the parliament to make law on the citizenship. Okay. Next, exempted areas. From the Citizenship Amendment Act, following areas are exempted, especially these northeast areas are exempted, because in northeast areas, if this is implemented, means all the illegal migrants who came from Bangladesh after 1971, they'll become citizens. But that is main objection of the northeast people, especially people from Assam, because their opportunities are taken by the illegal migrants that they don't want. Actually, that is the reason even Government of India even promised to those people in Assam Accord as well, that all illegal immigrants will be identified and they'll be deported back to Bangladesh. So it is not applicable in the 6th schedule. That means Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram, and tribal areas of Karbi Anglong in Assam and Garo Hills in Meghalaya, Chakma district in Mizoram, tribal areas in Tripura, and is also not applicable in the areas where inner line permit is already in existence, like Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland and Mizoram. Who is eligible? Already we discussed, the cutoff date is 31st December 2014, and the people who experience the religious persecution in those 3 countries, they are eligible. They must stay in India for how many years? 5 years. Previously this requirement used to be 11 years, now we reduced through this act. Third one, Epidemic Disease Act 1897. Recently Law Commission, they given report and it is suggesting that certain reforms is needed in the Epidemic Disease Act. First you have to understand some keywords. What is the difference between the endemic, epidemic and pandemic? Endemic is the one, a disease which is localized in a particular area, and in that locality the disease appears constantly over the period of time. That is known as endemic. Then epidemic. Epidemic means in a very few areas the disease will grow very quickly. That is known as epidemic. Okay, it may be the malaria in African nations, okay, or any kind of thing. That is the epidemic. The rapidity is very high, epidemic one. Whereas pandemic, a disease which spread across the globe, that is known as pandemic disease. Now we are discussing about the Epidemic Disease Act 1897. Law Commission published their 286th report, that is the Management, Control and Prevention of Epidemic Disease. In this, they are suggesting few things. And of course, we have to discuss about the Law Commission as well. I'll explain. But meanwhile, tell me students, some basic question I will ask you. What is the nature of the Law Commission? It is a statutory body or executive body or constitutional body. Actually, this question appeared in 2023 UPSC Prelims or 2022, I'm not sure. Okay, one of the statement in the question is related to this particular information. So what is epidemic? According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, they are saying that any unexpected increase in a disease in a specific geographical area, that is known as epidemic. Epidemic disease not necessarily have to be contagious. That means it not necessarily the contagious disease. It may be any any bacterial or viral disease can be. 2020 amendment. So one of the very significant amendment government of India done in 2020 during the COVID times, that is if there is any attack on the healthcare workers, that will be dealt in a very severe manner. That was the amendment. It came into enactment in COVID-19 pandemic times. Any attack on the healthcare workers, it attracts the imprisonment for 3 to 5 years and penalty of 50,000 to 2 lakhs. It based on the severity of the attack. And the Law Commission, it is a non-statutory executive body, quasi-judicial body in nature. Generally, they will go through the existing laws. If any changes required, they will suggest changes. Sometimes government may ask them to go through the existing laws based on the government recommendation or government advice. Also, they will go through the existing laws. Some of the notable contributions from Law Commission: amendments related to Hindu Marriage Act, Indian Penal Code Act 2013, decriminalization of homosexuality reports, and Uniform Civil Code report. These are some of the prominent reports of the Law Commission. And remember, students, whatever the recommendations given by the Law Commission, they are only advisory in nature. They are not binding on the government. That you have to remember. Next, fourth one, temple regulation in India. It is in news because recently Karnataka legislation, they passed this Temple Regulation Act. This act is regulating the revenue from the temple. According to this act, any temple which is having revenue more than 1 crore, out of this entire revenue, that means gross income, out of that, they have to divert 10% of the income towards the common pool for the temple maintenance in the entire state. So when this act was enacted, there were questions regarding the constitutional norms related to freedom of religion. It may be the Article 25 or 26. So we will cover both these articles as well, and we will also discuss about how other states are regulating their temples. Okay, because this endowment things comes under the concurrent list. Now let's see. This is about Karnataka state legislation. Previously the law was saying that 10% of the net income of the temple which are earning more than 10 lakhs, it has to be diverted. That was previously, but now it became above 1 crore. Actually, initially this bill was defeated in the Legislative Council. Again, it was introduced. So now, as we are discussing about the religion, you all know that Article 25 Clause 1, it gives freedom of religion to individual. It may be the freedom of conscience, profess, practice, and propagate. And Article 25 Clause 2 is saying that, okay, it is saying that of course individual is having all the freedom of religion, but nonetheless state can interfere in the religion for the betterment. Okay, state can reform the religion. State can throw temple open, okay, for reforms. This is only to regulate the religion so that some wrongdoings in the religion can be controlled. So state can open the temple for reforms. That is under Article 25 Clause 2. According to Article 25 Clause 2, even state can regulate the financial, political, and other secular other activities of the religion as well. Even if you remember, Article 25 Clause 3 is also saying that the definition of Hindu, it covers Buddhist, Jain, and Sikh religion as well. Article 26, it talks about how a religious institutions can manage. Religious institutions have all the freedom to manage, but they can be regulated in the best interest of the public health and morality. Entry number 28 of list 3, concurrent list of schedule 7, it is saying that both state as well as the center, parliament, they can make law on these charities, charitable institutions, and religious endowments and religious institutions. Hindu religious and charitable endowment. This is the one act which is following by so many states to regulate the endowment activity in their particular state. Hindu Religious Endowment Commission 1960, it recommended that government should control over the temple to prevent the maladministration. Very important. Value addition regarding the places of worship. Government of India enacted Place of Worship Act 1991 during the P.V. Narasimha Rao government. According to this act, the nature of religious place, it cannot be changed. It will be maintained according to the 15th August 1947. At the time of 15th August 1947, whatever the nature of a particular religious place is there, that nature has to be continued. The religious nature should not be changed. This is the argument picked up by the group of people in the Gyan Vapi Masjid case. Next, fifth one, the cinematograph certification rules 2024. This introduced the new rules regarding the certification of the films. Okay, what is this new rules we will see, and this is also improved the gender participation in the this film boards. Now this, according to the new rules, at least 1/3 of the total strength should be women. Preferably it should be half, because now you know that movies will impact majority of the society and women is majority of the society. Now let's see what kind of new changes brought by the cinematograph rules 2024. They are going to replace the outdated 1983 rules, and these rules are enforced according to the Cinematograph Act 2023. They introduced the new age-based certification, that is, so universal adult 7 plus, 13 plus, and 16 plus. These three categories added. That means these children can watch the movie if the movie is certified according to this under the supervision of the parents or guardians. Enhanced gender representation in the CBFC, Central Board of Film Certification. 1/3 must be women. Preferably, it can go on half of the strength can be women. CBFC, it is a statutory body which works under the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. It enacted according to the Cinematograph Act 1952. Generally, the member contain non-official members, member and chairman. They are completely suggested by the Government of India. This Central Board of Film Certification assisted by 9 regional offices. These offices also contain advisory panels. Advisory panel members also nominated by the central government. With a tenure of 2 years. Next one, Public Examination Bill 2024. So this Public Examination Bill is all about putting penalties, imposing fines on those people who involving in the exam, like leakage or organized exam leakage and all these things. Because you know that lot of examination leakage and paper leakages are happening across, India we observed in different states. To prevent that, this bill is introduced. So Parliament passed Public Examination Prevention of Unfair Means Bill 2024. Tell me, students, as this is related to education, tell me who can make laws on the education? This bill is applicable only to the agencies which are controlled by the union government. That you have to understand. Objective of the bill is to promote greater transparency, fairness, credibility in the public examination ecosystem, so that unfair means can be prevented. This can be served as a model draft. So based on this, even state can adapt their own public examination bills. So this particular one is applies to these 5 exam conducting authorities: UPSC, SSC, RRBs, IBPS, and NTA. Punishment: persons who are involving in unfair means of examination, the fine can go up to 10 lakhs and the imprisonment between 3 to 5 years. And the service providers, like any internet service provider or any organization helping in the unfair means of examination, that fine can be go up to 1 crore. Next, organized paper leak. It will attract the punishment up to 5 years and it can go even 10 years also maximum. And it does not target the candidate who are appearing for the examination. Other candidates will not be suffered because of these things. And here, this bill is also proposing the establishment of the National Technical Committee on Public Examination. This committee will ensure the effective conduct of the online examination, and what kind of safeguards can be kept in place so that cyber attack can be avoided. That these things can be supervised by the National Technical Committee on Public Examination. So this is about these 6 bills. So as a part of the Prelims High Yielding series, Bills and Acts we discussed. As a part of the Bills and Acts, we discussed about the detailed analysis regarding these following 6 bills. So this is about today's video. I hope this video is useful in your preparation. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great day. Jai Hind.